Welcome to another deep dive into a book that claims to hold the secret of secrets. We're cracking open the secret of secrets. Abd-Al-Qadir Al-Jilani,
Right.
as interpreted by Sheikh Tosin Bayrak, to see if it lives up to its intriguing title.
Absolutely.
This book, published in 1992 by the Islamic Texts Society, delves into Islamic mysticism.
It does.
And the Sufi path.
Yeah, it's a journey towards spiritual enlightenment.
Right from the beginning, the author emphasizes
He does.
the importance of praising Allah
Of course.
and seeking knowledge.
Right.
But it's not just any kind of knowledge, is
It's
it?
not about stuffing your head with facts.
Right,
You know, it's about knowledge that you understand deeply
right.
and then actually put into practice the kind of knowledge that changes you.
That makes me think of the idea of walking the walk.
Yeah.
You can read all the self-help books in the world,
Yep.
but if you don't apply those principles to your life,
Right.
what's the point?
Exactly. And this emphasis on applied knowledge
Yeah,
is essential for understanding
Yep.
the deeper secrets that the author is going to reveal.
right.
One of the first things he tackles is the Islamic creation narrative,
Okay.
as described by the Prophet Muhammad.
It all starts with the light of Muhammad,
Mm-hmm.
created from Allah's light.
Yeah.
Then, from that light came the realm
Yes.
of the pen and the tablet.
Think of the pen
Okay.
as the tool for writing Allah's divine decree,
Okay.
and the tablet as the surface on which that decree is written.
Uh-huh.
These symbolize divine knowledge and destiny.
So it's like a cosmic blueprint,
Precisely.
and everything unfolds from there.
And finally, from these, the seven heavens and the earth were created.
Wow.
So in a sense, everything originates from this initial light of Muhammad.
That's a pretty powerful concept
It is.
to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the idea of the descent of man,
Right.
which always makes me think
Yeah.
of Adam and Eve leaving the Garden of Eden.
Uh-huh.
Is it a similar concept here?
It is similar in the sense that it describes a journey from a state of spiritual purity
Okay.
into the material world.
Right.
But it's not seen as a punishment.
Okay.
Think of it more as an opportunity.
Okay.
The human soul, originally a perfect spirit, descends into the material world to learn and grow.
Okay.
It's about seeking closeness to Allah
Right.
while navigating the challenges of earthly existence.
So it's less about a fall from grace
Right.
and more about an intentional journey with a purpose.
With a purpose, yeah.
We're all on a quest to return to our divine source.
Yeah,
But we've got these physical bodies and desires
we do.
to deal with along the way.
That's exactly where the concept of the places of the soul comes in.
Okay.
The author outlines 4 places
Yeah.
within the human body.
Okay.
The breast,
Okay.
the heart, the secret of the soul,
Okay.
and the hidden knowledge.
Okay.
Each place represents a different level of spiritual awareness.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Mm.
Break it down for me.
All right.
How can understanding these places actually help me on my own spiritual journey?
Well, the breast is where our outward-facing self resides.
Okay.
It's the seat of our desires, emotions, and interactions with the world.
Okay.
The heart, on the other hand, is the center of our inner being, the place where we connect with the divine.
So if I'm constantly caught up
Yeah.
in the drama of my daily life, my attention is stuck in the breast, so to speak.
You could say that,
Okay.
but by cultivating awareness of the heart through practices like remembrance and meditation,
Right.
we can shift our focus inward
Okay.
and connect with a deeper level of our being.
And what about those other 2 places?
Okay.
The secret of the soul
Mm-hmm.
and the hidden knowledge. Those sound even more mysterious.
The secret of the soul is about our hidden potential for unity with Allah.
Okay.
It's that spark of the divine within us that yearns to return to its source.
Right.
And hidden knowledge refers to the ultimate gnosis, the direct experience of Allah's essence,
Okay.
which is something that unfolds through spiritual practice and purification.
So it's like a map of our inner landscape,
It is.
showing us where we can go on this spiritual journey.
Right.
And I'm guessing there are different types of knowledge
There are.
we need to acquire along the way.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The author outlines 4 types of knowledge.
Okay.
There's self-evident knowledge, like the fact that fire burns.
Right.
Then there's knowledge of the meaning and reason for things.
Yeah.
Why was the world created? Why are we here?
Okay, so that's knowledge that requires deeper reflection.
Right.
What are the other 2 types?
Then we have knowledge of the hidden spiritual essence of the world. This goes beyond the surface level and allows you to perceive the divine presence within all things. Right. And finally, there's the knowledge of secrets that are not self-evident.
Okay.
The mystical knowledge that's revealed through spiritual experience.
Right.
And the guidance of a teacher.
It seems like having a teacher.
It is crazy.
Someone who has already traveled this path.
Think of it like having a seasoned guide.
Okay.
When you're trekking through an unknown wilderness.
Right.
They can help you navigate the terrain.
Yeah.
Avoid pitfalls.
Yeah.
And point out hidden treasures you might miss on your own.
That makes sense. It's not a journey you want to undertake alone.
Right.
And speaking of guidance, the author talks about two paths to attaining true knowledge. One is through inspired reflections, those aha moments that come from deep contemplation.
Exactly.
And the other is through the guidance of a teacher.
Right.
Both paths are essential.
They are.
And they complement each other. Your own personal reflections can illuminate the teachings you receive from a teacher, bringing them to life in a way that mere intellectual understanding can't.
It's like the difference between reading about love and actually experiencing it.
Yes.
One is theoretical.
Right.
The other is transformative.
And that brings us to another crucial element of the path.
Right.
Repentance.
Turning back towards Allah,
right.
Correcting our course.
But it's not just about saying you're sorry.
It's not.
Repentance involves a deep inner shift.
It does.
A purification of the heart from all that separates us from the divine.
Exactly.
So it's not just about changing our outward behavior.
It's not just about that.
But also about transforming our inner state.
Precisely.
Okay.
The author distinguishes between outward repentance, which involves abstaining from sinful actions.
Right.
And inner repentance, which focuses on purifying the heart of negative qualities.
Right.
Like pride, envy, and greed.
It's like weeding a garden. You can't just trim the tops of the weeds.
No.
You have to pull them out by the roots.
You do.
To prevent them from growing back.
That's a great analogy.
And one of the tools for this inner purification is the power of the word.
Yes.
Especially the divine words and names.
Exactly.
So it's not just about reciting words, but about invoking their spiritual power.
Exactly.
Okay.
The divine words and names are like keys that unlock the doors to deeper levels of consciousness and connection with Allah.
Right.
They're not just sounds. They're vibrations that can shift our inner state.
Okay. It's like each word is a seed that when planted in the fertile ground of the heart can blossom into a beautiful flower of spiritual understanding.
Exactly.
Now, the book goes on to explore
the
term Sufi and the different stages of the Sufi path.
Right.
What exactly does it mean to be a Sufi?
The word Sufi is often used to describe someone who is striving for spiritual purification and closeness to Allah. They are seekers on a path of self-transformation, using various practices to polish their hearts and connect with the divine.
And this path, this journey, unfolds in stages, right?
It does, yeah.
The author outlines 4 distinct stages of the Sufi path.
The first stage is all about repentance.
Okay.
This is where the seeker turns away from worldly attachments and focuses on purifying the heart, laying the foundation for the journey ahead.
It's like clearing out the clutter.
Yeah.
Both physically and mentally, to create space for something new to emerge.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as the heart becomes more purified, the seeker enters the second stage.
Okay.
The state of peace and joy.
Okay.
This is where they start to experience the sweetness of connection with Allah.
This is where the journey starts to get really enticing.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want more peace and joy in their lives?
It's a taste of the bliss that awaits those who earnestly seek Allah.
Right.
But the journey doesn't stop there.
It doesn't.
The third stage is the state of sanctity.
Okay.
Where the seeker's connection with the divine deepens even further.
Okay.
They experience heightened spiritual awareness, profound insights, and a sense of unity with all creation.
So it's a progression.
It is.
From repentance to peace to a state of profound holiness.
Yes.
What about the final stage?
Okay.
What's the culmination of this incredible journey?
The fourth and final stage is the state of truth.
Okay.
This is the ultimate goal of the Sufi path.
Okay.
The realization of divine unity.
Wow.
It's the state of fana.
Okay.
The annihilation of the ego in the ocean of Allah's being.
That sounds almost paradoxical.
It does.
To lose yourself in order to find yourself?
Right.
Can you explain that a little more?
Sure.
What does it mean to experience fana?
Imagine a drop of water
Okay.
falling into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It loses its individual identity as a separate drop
Okay.
and merges completely with the vastness of the sea.
Right.
That's like fana.
Okay.
The individual ego dissolves, and all that remains is the awareness of oneness with Allah.
It's a profound concept.
It is.
And woven throughout all these stages is the central practice of remembrance.
Yes.
Or dhikr.
Dhikr, exactly.
The author talks about both the outward form of remembrance through recitation and the inward form of feeling Allah's presence.
Right.
So it's about going beyond just the words and connecting with the feeling.
Yeah.
The essence of what those words represent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The author emphasizes that a single moment of sincere remembrance where the heart is fully present with Allah is more valuable than years of empty ritual.
It's a reminder to bring presence and mindfulness to our spiritual practices.
Yes.
And the author highlights some key ingredients
He does.
for cultivating this state of remembrance. He talks about the importance of both good intentions and good actions.
Right.
It's not enough to just have good thoughts.
No, it's not.
We need to translate those thoughts into action.
Absolutely.
Our actions are the outward manifestation of our intentions. And both need to be aligned with Allah's will.
Right.
So it's about living a life of integrity.
Exactly.
Where our inner and outer worlds are in harmony.
Precisely.
And when those two aspects are aligned, it creates a fertile ground.
It does.
For the seed of remembrance to take root and flourish.
Exactly.
Now, one of the most fascinating aspects of this book is its exploration of the vision of Allah.
Right.
The author describes two kinds of vision.
He does.
One through the manifestation of Allah's attributes, and the other through direct vision of the divine essence.
Think of it like this. When you look at the reflection of the sun in a mirror, you're seeing its light, but not the sun itself.
Right.
That's like seeing the manifestation of Allah's attributes.
Okay.
We perceive his qualities, like beauty, mercy, and justice, but not his essence directly.
Okay, I'm following so far. So what about the direct vision of the divine essence?
Okay.
How is that different?
That's like seeing the sun directly without any intermediary.
Okay.
It's an experience that's reserved for the most purified souls.
Wow.
Those who have transcended the limitations of the ego and merge completely with Allah.
It's a level of spiritual realization.
It is.
That's hard to even fathom.
Yeah.
But the author offers some beautiful imagery.
He does.
To help us understand this concept. He talks about the heart as a lamp.
Right.
And when it's cleansed of impurities, it can reflect the divine light more clearly.
That's right.
But there are often veils that obstruct this vision, like clouds that obscure the sun.
Exactly.
What are these veils?
Okay.
How do we remove them?
The veils are our ego, our attachments to worldly things, our negative qualities like pride, envy, and greed. The process of purification is about clearing away those clouds so that the light of Allah can shine through unimpeded.
So it's about cultivating those qualities that bring us closer to Allah and letting go of those that hold us back.
Exactly.
And the author doesn't shy away.
No, he doesn't.
From discussing the consequences of our choices. He contrasts the destiny.
He does.
Of those who choose obedience to Allah.
Right.
With those who rebel, painting a vivid picture of the joy of being good and the misery of straying from the path. This part really resonated with me. It's a powerful reminder that our choices matter.
They do.
Not just in this life, but in the hereafter as well.
We have the freedom to choose which path we want to walk.
We do.
But we also have to accept the consequences of those choices.
That's a crucial point.
Now, the author goes on to discuss the term dervish.
He does.
I've always found that word to be quite intriguing. Can you shed some light on what it means in the context of this book?
The term dervish is often used to describe someone who is dedicated to the Sufi path. The author explains that it has 4 interpretations, each connected to a different realm of existence. The world of the body, the world of the spirit, the world of the divine soul, and the world of divine manifestations.
So there are different levels of being a dervish.
There are.
Depending on which realm you're focusing on.
Precisely.
Okay.
The first type of dervish is focused on purifying the body through the outward practices of Islam.
Okay.
Like prayer, fasting, and charity.
Okay.
The second type focuses on purifying the spirit.
Yeah. Through inner cleansing,
Right.
removing negative qualities, and cultivating virtues.
And the third type.
The third type of dervish is all about purifying the divine soul,
Okay.
seeking knowledge of Allah, and experiencing his presence.
Okay.
And finally, the fourth type is concerned with the purification of divine manifestations,
Okay.
striving to become a pure vessel for Allah's attributes to shine through.
It's like climbing a spiritual ladder.
It is.
Ascending from the physical realm to the realm of pure spirit.
Right.
And one of the key concepts in this ascent is the idea of true poverty.
Yeah.
What does the author mean by that? Is it about material lack?
Not at all.
Yeah.
True poverty, the kind that leads to spiritual richness,
Right.
is about detachment from worldly desires.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that our true wealth lies not in material possessions,
Right.
but in our connection with Allah.
It's about shifting our focus from the external to the internal, recognizing the abundance that already exists within us.
Exactly.
Now the author goes on to discuss two kinds of purification, one involving the outward precepts of religion, and the other involving inner purification
Right.
from worldly concerns.
You could say that outward purification, through practices like prayer and fasting, creates the container,
Right.
while inner purification, through cultivating virtues like humility and gratitude,
Right.
fills that container with the true essence of spirituality.
It's like tending a garden.
Yeah.
You need to build the fence to protect the plants, but you also need to water and fertilize them
You do.
to help them grow.
Exactly.
And both outward and inner purification are
Very
essential for reaching that ultimate state of the purified, perfect man.
Exactly.
Okay.
The perfect man, or Al-Insan al-Kamil,
Good.
is an archetype in Islamic mysticism, representing the one who has achieved the highest level of spiritual realization.
What does that look like? What are the characteristics of the perfect man?
The perfect man is a pure reflection of Allah's attributes, a radiant being who embodies divine qualities like love, compassion, wisdom, and justice.
Wow.
They have transcended the limitations of the ego and merged completely with the divine will, becoming a conduit for grace and guidance in the world.
It's a state of being that's almost beyond comprehension.
It is.
But the path to reaching that state is paved with practices like charity and fasting,
Right.
both of which the author discusses in detail.
He does.
Charity, both the obligatory kind and the voluntary kind,
Yes.
is about recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings
It is.
and sharing our resources with those in need. It's a way to purify our wealth and cultivate generosity in our hearts.
Exactly.
And fasting, both the physical fasting during Ramadan
Right.
and the spiritual fasting from worldly desires,
Yes.
is about developing discipline, patience, and gratitude.
It's about detaching from our dependence on material things and strengthening our connection with Allah,
Right.
the true source of sustenance.
And the author draws a beautiful parallel
He does.
between these practices and the two types of pilgrimage,
Yes.
the outward journey to Makkah
Right.
and the inner journey to the essence of the heart. I love that analogy. Can you elaborate on that a little more?
The outward pilgrimage to Makkah
Okay.
involves physical travel, specific rituals, and a sense of communal devotion.
Okay.
It's a powerful experience that can deepen one's faith and connection with Allah. But the true Kaaba,
Okay.
the house of Allah,
Right.
resides within the heart.
Okay.
The inner pilgrimage is about journeying towards that inner sanctuary,
Right.
removing the veils of the ego, and experiencing the divine presence within.
So both pilgrimages involve a process of purification,
Yes.
a surrendering to something greater than ourselves, a venturing into the unknown.
Exactly.
And both can lead to profound transformation
They can.
and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship with Allah.
But the author doesn't stop there.
He doesn't.
He goes on to describe a state of witnessing divine truth.
Okay.
That goes beyond even these pilgrimages.
This is where things get really mystical, isn't it?
It is.
He talks about abandoning all worldly concerns, achieving a state of profound peace and ecstasy.
Yes.
And experiencing two types of ecstasy.
He does. Two types.
Two types of ecstasy.
Physical and spiritual.
Tell me more.
Physical ecstasy is a temporary state of heightened awareness and bliss that can be induced through certain practices.
Right.
But spiritual ecstasy is a more enduring state of peace and tranquility. That arises from the realization of divine unity.
It sounds like the difference between a fleeting high and a deep, abiding sense of fulfillment.
That's a good way to put it.
Spiritual ecstasy is about transcending the limitations of our ordinary consciousness.
Right.
And merging with the infinite ocean of Allah's being.
Exactly.
And the author suggests that one of the paths to this state is through withdrawing from the world into seclusion.
Exactly.
So it's about creating space, both physically and mentally, to connect with the divine.
External seclusion involves physically withdrawing from society. Seeking solitude in a quiet place. Internal seclusion is about withdrawing the senses from the world and turning inward. Detaching from distractions and focusing solely on Allah.
And the author provides specific prayers and recitations.
He does.
For those on the path of seclusion.
These prayers and recitations are like tools to purify the heart and invoke the divine presence. They help to cultivate inner peace and stillness. Creating the right conditions for spiritual awakening.
It's like having a guidebook.
It is.
For the inward journey.
And speaking of guidance, the author explores another fascinating avenue for receiving divine messages. The world of dreams.
This is where it gets really interesting. The author describes true dreams as revelations from Allah. Carrying spiritual significance and guidance. I've always been fascinated by dreams. They feel like portals to another realm full of symbolism and hidden meanings.
They are.
But how can we tell the difference between ordinary dreams and those that carry a divine message?
Well, the author makes a clear distinction between the two.
Okay.
Ordinary dreams are often influenced by our daily experiences, our fears, our desires. They can be entertaining or confusing, but they don't necessarily carry any deep spiritual significance.
Right.
True dreams, on the other hand, come from Allah and have a specific purpose.
Right.
They're like letters from the divine, offering guidance, warnings, or glimpses into the unseen world.
So how can we learn to recognize these divine letters within the landscape of our dreams?
Right.
Are there any clues or signs to look for?
The author offers some guidance on dream interpretation, explaining that certain symbols often carry specific meanings. For instance, seeing a beautiful youth in a dream can symbolize the manifestation of Allah's attribute of beauty, while seeing a lion can represent strength and courage.
It's like learning a new language.
Right.
The language of the soul, where images and symbols convey profound spiritual truths.
Exactly.
But the interpretation of dreams is a subtle art, and the author cautions against relying on self-interpretation.
He does.
It's important to seek guidance from a qualified teacher who can help us discern the true meaning of our dreams.
Especially those that feel particularly significant or recurring.
It's like having a wise elder.
It is.
Who can help us decode the messages whispered from the realm of the unconscious.
Right.
Now, shifting gears a bit, the book delves into the different types of followers on the mystical path. The author distinguishes between the people of the truth and the people of fire.
Right.
What sets these two groups apart?
The people of the truth are the true seekers.
Okay.
The ones whose hearts are pure, whose intentions are sincere, and whose actions are aligned with Allah's will. They are guided by the light of divine wisdom.
Okay.
And they strive to embody the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad in their daily lives.
The people of fire, however, have strayed from the path, right?
They may claim to be followers of Islam, but their hearts are filled with darkness. They're driven by ego, consumed by worldly desires.
Yes.
And their actions lead them further and further away from Allah. It's a sobering reminder that there are many paths in life.
There are.
And not all of them lead to the same destination.
Yeah.
It's so important to choose wisely.
It is.
To align ourselves with those who reflect the qualities we aspire to embody.
Couldn't agree more.
And that brings us to the final message of the book. A powerful reminder for all spiritual travelers.
Yeah.
The importance of perseverance, right? Guidance, and trust in Allah's mercy.
Right.
These are essential qualities for anyone embarking on a journey of self-transformation.
The path is rarely smooth.
It isn't.
There will be obstacles,
right,
challenges, and moments of doubt.
How can we stay the course?
When the going gets tough.
The author reminds us that the spiritual path is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to keep getting back up when we fall. And he emphasizes the importance of finding a qualified teacher. Someone who has traversed the path before us and can offer guidance and support along the way.
It's like having a mentor.
Exactly.
Who can help us navigate the tricky terrain and avoid unnecessary pitfalls.
And ultimately, it all comes down to trust.
Right.
Trust in Allah's mercy. Trust in his guidance. And trust in the process of unfolding that he has set in motion for each of us.
Trust that even when we can't see the path ahead, we're being guided towards our highest good.
Beautifully said.
And with that reminder of trust, our deep dive into the secret of secrets comes to a close.
It does.
This has been an incredible journey.
It has.
Exploring the depths of Islamic mysticism and the wisdom of Abdul-Qadir Al-Jilani.
Right.
What stands out for you as the most valuable secret revealed in this book?
For me, it's the emphasis on the transformative power of knowledge.
Right.
Not just knowledge as information, but knowledge as a lived experience. Something that penetrates the heart and changes us from the inside out. The secret of secrets is not a formula or a set of rules. It's an invitation to embark on a journey of self-discovery. To cultivate a depth connection with Allah and to allow that connection to radiate through our every thought, word, and deed.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
So, dear listener, as we wrap up our deep dive, we invite you to take a moment to reflect on what resonated most deeply with you. What insights did you glean from this exploration of the secret of secrets? What questions or inspirations will you carry forward on your own unique journey? May this deep dive serve as a catalyst for your own exploration of the inner path, the path that leads to the heart of your being, where the divine presence resides.